Dear students, from this video lecture we are going to start the second unit, that is position, displacement and level sensors. So first of all we will see the basic principle of the displacement and position measurement. So in the sensor, two kinds of the sensors which are mainly observed to measure the position or displacement, who are categorized into, that is, contact and contactless sensors. So measurement of the position and displacement of the physical object is essential for n number of applications. For example, process feedback control, performance evaluation of the system, transportation application, traffic control, robotic kind of applications, security and surveillance purpose. So n number of applications who are working with the position and displacement based sensors. So determination of the object's coordinates, that is linear, either linear or angular, with respect to the selected reference can be done with the help of these kind of sensors. So displacement is nothing but moving from one position to the another for specific distance or angle. So as I said, linear or angular. So depending on the movement of the object, either linear or angular one, the displacement measurement. In other words, we can say displacement is measured when the object is reference to its own prior position rather than to an external reference point. So first we will see the potentiometric sensor. So this is a simple arrangement where you will find the resistive material kind of arrangement and one wiper kind of system. The wiper will move on the resistive material or wire wound kind of potentiometer or the resistive material, and depending on the location of the wiper available on the resistive material, we are getting the output. So in figure A we can able to see the potentiometer as a position sensor. So the two terminals of the potentiometer are connected to excitation or the battery, which is nothing but E, and the wiper is connected or located on the carbon composition of the film, and depending on the location of the wiper we are getting the output voltage. So a small d is nothing but the displacement, and the capital D indicates the total distance depending on the arrangement or the particular mechanism. So the voltage across the wiper of linear potentiometer is proportional to the displacement d, small d. So we can write the output voltage is equal to excitation, that is electrical excitation, into d by capital D, where d is the full scale displacement which is measured on the two terminals of the potentiometer, and E is the voltage across the pot, that is excitation signal. The second application or the use of this particular potentiometric sensor is shown in figure B. So in this particular mechanism, one float is connected to the rod, and the other tip of the rod is connected to the wiper of the potentiometer or the pot. Then depending on the level available in the liquid or fluid level available in the tank, the float will move upward and downward. So float will move upward and downward. So depending on the location of the float, either it is upward or downward, automatically the shaft which is connected to the wiper, so wiper will move on the resistive material of the potentiometer. So depending on this particular movement, we are getting the output voltage with the help of this kind of mechanism or the circuit arrangement. So in figure C we can able to see the packages. So different packages which are observed in the electronic field, that is slider and other wire wound kind of mechanisms. So these are the different packages of the linear potentiometers. One more pressure sensitive or pressure based potentiometer is shown in this particular figure. So in this mechanism we can able to see the electric or electrode strips, carbon composition strips. So this particular sensor consists of the two strips. The upper strip is made up of flexible plastic having the metallized surface. So below this particular plastic strip you will find the metallized surface which is connected to the another terminal of the battery, and the lower strip consists of the rigid or resistive coated material, and in between this particular mechanism you will find the empty space. So bottom strip is grid and coated with resistive material of the total resistance ranging from several kilo ohm to mega ohm, that is minimum to maximum resistance of this particular resistive material, and depending on the pressure applied on the plastic strip. So in this particular we can able to see by using the finger we can press the strip, and depending on the contact available in between the metal foil, a flexible metal foil with the resistive material, we are getting the output voltage from the circuitry. So according to the mechanism, the upper conductive strip or wiper and the bottom resistive strip are connected to an electric circuit who is responsible to give the output voltage depending on the position of the wiper or the pressure, location of the pressure applied on the resistive material. When the pusher or the finger is pressed against the upper strip at the specific distance x, so here x indicates the distance between minimum to maximum x, from the end the contact strip touches the bottom strip, that is resistive composition based bottom strip, and makes an electric contact with the pressure point. That is, the contact strip work as a wiper like your previous potentiometer. So the contact between these two strips change the output voltage from E into Rx by R0. So R0 is the by default or minimum resistance, Rx is nothing but the depending on the location of the pressure applied, the change in the resistance. So which is proportional to x distance from the left side to the sensor, left side of the sensor. So when the pusher wiper may slide along the sensor, causing the variable output voltage. So these are the different packages or types of this particular pressure sensitive sensors. So figure A shows the various shapes of the pressure sensitive potentiometers, the circular, plane or kind of packages. The second figure B shows the wiper with spring loaded tip. The third package is the circular soft pot with the wiper. So depending on the application or need of the system, different packages or types of the pressure sensitive sensors are available in the market. This you know very well, the flex sensor, depending on the pressure applied or the stress available on the flex sensor, we are getting the change in the output resistance. The second another package, that is a magneto pot. So here also you will find the particular resistive kind of material and one magnet kind of mechanism. So depending on the movement or the location of the magnet, we are getting the change in the resistance, and if suppose that change in the resistance is connected to the voltage divider network or external circuitry, we are getting the output voltage from the particular circuit. So in this way we can, or that particular system can measure the movement or the displacement with the help of these kind of sensors. Now we'll move towards the next type of the sensor, that is displacement and angular or linear kind of displacement or position measurement with the help of the non-contact based capacitive sensor. So these are very have very broad application or n number of applications. They are employed directly to gauge displacement and position, and also as building block in other other sensors where displacement is produced by the parameters like pressure, force and temperature, etc. So the ability of the capacity detector is to sense the virtually all materials, make them an attractive choice for many applications. So in this case, the operating principle of this particular capacitive sensor is depending on the change in the capacitance. In the previous kind of sensor, the displacement and the position is measured with the help of change in the resistance. But in this case, the operating principle is based on the change in the capacitance. Okay, so capacitive gauge proximity and position sensor based on either changing the geometry, that is distance between the capacitor plates. The typical arrangement of the capacitor you know very well. In between the two plates of the capacitor you will find the dielectric material, and depending on the dielectric material we are getting the different capacitance values. So capacitance variations in the presence of the conductive or dielectric material. So if suppose movement is there in the dielectric or conductive material, that is in between the two plates, we are getting the change in the capacitance. So when the capacitance changes, it can be converted into the variable electrical signal. So in these two figures we can able to see two different cases, the operating principle of the flat plate capacitive sensor. So first figure shows the balance position or balance condition. So C1 and C2 both are the same, where X0 and X0 shows the same distance of the dielectric plate available in between the two plates. So in this case we are not getting any kind of output from this particular mechanism. So here V out sin omega t and minus V sin omega t is the balance one. So due to this reason we are getting zero output voltage. The second condition, where the location of this dielectric material located in between the two plates. So in this case we can able to C1 and C2. So this particular dielectric plate is more near to the second plate of the capacitive kind of material. So due to this reason we are getting the change in the output. So C2 is nothing but the displacement with respect to X0 minus X, and here C1 according to the change in the capacitance X0 plus X. So depending on the location of the dielectric plate in between the two plates of the capacitor, we are getting the change in the output voltage. So this is nothing but the disbalanced position of the capacitive sensor. So next type of the capacitive sensor, that is monopolar capacitive sensor. So it is observed when the measuring the distance to an electrically conductive object. See, electrically conductive object, the object surface itself may serve as the capacitor's plate. So in this particular mechanism we can able to see the capacitive probe with the guard ring cross sectional view is shown in the figure A, and the outside package capacitive switch or the capacitive sensor is shown in this figure B. So here in this particular mechanism, one plate of the capacitor is connected to the central conductor of the coaxial cable, and while the other plate is formed by the target by, or we can say the target is nothing but the other plate. So depending on the distance between the first plate of the sensor and the second plate, which is nothing but the target or object, is measured or shown in this particular small distance d. So depending on the distance between the target and the plate available with the sensor, we are getting the change in the output voltage from the external circuitry. So the probe plate is surrounded by the grounded guard to minimize the fringing effect and to improve the linearity. So fringing effect is nothing but the leakages which are observed with the surrounding packages with the sensor. So fringing, if suppose fringing is there, so at that time we are getting the fluctuation in the output voltage or fluctuation due to the change in the capacitance. So a typical capacitive probe operates at frequency in the range of 3 megahertz and can detect very fast moving target. Since frequency response of a probe with built-in electronic interface can give or can be measured in the range of 40 kilohertz. So this particular sensor measures the capacitance between electrode and the target or the object. And as I said, to improve or to get the proper output from the particular sensor, the improvement point of view or sensitivity point of view, and to minimize the fringing effect, the monopolar capacitive sensor may be supplied with the driven shield, or special shielding is provided on the package. So in this diagram we can able to see the proximity switch or proximity capacitive sensor. So here outer case, okay, first outer case, and inside this particular outer case you will find the driven shield. Okay, so driven shield is responsible to minimize the fringing effect, and in this particular package or at the middle you will find the electrode, okay, which is connected to the voltage follower, and outer casing is connected to the common ground. So common ground connected outer case and the driven shield is responsible to minimize the fringing effect. So due to this reason, accuracy and sensitivity of this particular kind of sensor can be achieved. So this particular block is nothing but the driver circuitry. So from this particular driver circuitry we are getting the output voltage. So depending on the distance between the electrode and the object or the target, we are getting the change in the output voltage from the particular circuitry. Some other packages are also available where the n number of plates can be observed in the package. So parallel plate capacitive bridge kind of structure or sensor plate arrangement we can able to see in figure A. So M, K, S and N, these are the four capacitors who are connected to each other, that is C1, C2, C3 and C4 in bridge configuration, and the two terminals of two terminals of the C1 and C2 and C3 and C4 are connected with the voltmeter. Okay, so depending on the change in the capacitance either in C1 and C2 and C4 and C3, or during the unbalanced condition we are getting the change in the output voltage. So in this case we can able to see depending on the distance between the target or moving plate. So here P and Q are connected to the voltage driver circuit with op-amp based circuitry. So depending on the movement of this particular target plates we are getting the change in the output, or distance depending on the distance between the moving plates and the bridge condition we are getting the output from the particular synchronous detector. Now we'll move to the next contact based displacement and position measurement sensors. So this you know very well, the LVDT and RVDT, linear variable differential transformer, and RVDT, that is rotary variable differential transformer, two different packages. So depending on the displacement, either linear one or the angular or rotary angular displacement measurement, we are going to use this kind of sensor. So at the left hand side we can able to see the LVDT sensor. So in this particular package you will find the primary winding and the secondary winding. So this is the typical cross section view of this particular sensor. So in this particular sensor you will find the primary winding which is connected to the A winding, which is connected to the excitation voltage or excitation, and from the secondary we are getting the change in the output. So in this particular mechanism you will find one rod which is connected internally to the ferromagnet material or ferrite rod. So depending on the movement of this particular ferromagnet core inside this particular coil, we are getting the change in the output voltage from the secondary winding. And the usually in this particular LVDT kind of sensor, the rod which is observed inside this particular package, cylindrical package, is connected to the machine or the particular mechanism where the displacement measurement, linear displacement measurement is required. And then afterwards the output voltage obtained from this LVDT is connected to the driver circuitry to improve the voltage level and to take the prior decisions depending on the application. Sometimes it is required to measure the angular movement or the angular rotation of the object or the target. So same kind of connections which are observed with the RVDT. So in this case, instead of the linear movement of this particular like this particular LVDT, in this case you will find the rotary mechanism. So here the ferromagnet based core is connected to the shaft, and depending on the movement or the rotation, we are getting the change in the output voltage from the secondary winding. So at the primary winding, the AC source is connected, and at the from the secondary we are going to measure or we are going to take the output voltage from this particular RVDT. So here, depending on the movement or depending on the rotation of this particular rotor, ferromagnet rotor, we are getting the change from this particular S1 changes in the output voltage in the S1 winding and S2 winding. So the output voltage from this particular secondary winding, we can write E0 is equal to ES1 minus ES2. So maybe ES1 minus ES2 or ES2 minus ES1, depending on the rotary movement of the ferromagnet rotor. So this is the particular package of this particular RVDT sensor. Here you will find the cylindrical kind of package and one shaft. So depending on the rotation of the shaft, we are getting the change in the output voltage. Now we'll move to the next kind of sensor whose working is based on the Hall effect principle, or simply a Hall effect sensor. So Hall effect sensors are devices which are activated by an external magnetic field. That is, if suppose the sensor get influenced by the external magnetic field, we are getting the change in the output voltage, or that particular sensor comes in the magnetic field, he will produce the output. So in this diagram we can able to see the p-type semiconductor Hall material based one base, okay, which is connected to the DC supply, positive and negative terminal. And suppose the current is moving from positive terminal to the negative terminal of the battery, and suppose the other two electrodes of this particular mechanism or the package is connected to the output, or these are connected to the voltmeter, and suppose the magnetic flux or magnetic field comes near to this particular package, you will get the change in the output voltage. So due to the magnetic pulse or magnetic field or the flux, the movement of the electrons and holes available on this particular semiconductor material, and this will produce the change in the output voltage. So we know very well that the magnetic field has two important characteristics, that is flux density and the polarity, that is north and south poles. So the output signal from the Hall effect sensor is the function of magnetic field density around the device. So as I said, when the magnetic flux density around the sensor exceeds the certain preset exceeds a certain preset threshold, the sensor detects it and generates an output voltage called the Hall voltage or Hall effect based voltage, that is VH, from this particular package or the Hall effect sensor. One best example of this particular Hall effect sensor in this particular figure they are shown. So liquid level detector with the help of Hall effect sensor. So suppose in this particular tank liquid is there and one shaft or rod is located in the middle and one float, you know very well, usually in case of the level detection you will find the float. Now in this particular float you will find the float with the magnet with south and north pole. Then depending on the level of the liquid or fluid available in the tank, this particular float will move upward and downward. And suppose the detection level is available at a certain level or near to this particular Hall sensor. So depending on the level of the liquid, this float will move upward and upward, and as it goes near to this particular detection level, the Hall sensor will give the output voltage, or he will give the signal to the driver circuit or the system. So detection level is located that is the release point. So as soon as this particular float moves or this particular magnet moves toward this particular detection level, the indication from the system, that is the float is available near to this Hall sensor, you have to turn off the system or the tank the full of the liquid. Some other packages are also available with this particular Hall effect sensor. So 4 Hall sensors can be connected, that is H1, H2, H3 and H4 connected in a bridge kind of configuration to detect the linear or circular motion of the object. So figure A shows the angular Hall sensor in bridge configuration. So the shaft is responsible to rotate the the magnet with respect to the south and north pole, and the internal sensor interface is shown in figure B, that is H1, H2, H3, H4, and depending on the magnetic field available on, that is south and north poles available on either on H1, H2, H3 and H4, the op-amp based circuitry is responsible to give the output voltage to the 6-bit A to D converter. Figure C shows the cut view of this particular package of sensor with the target, and depending on the flux available in this particular package we are getting the output. And figure D shows the Hall effect sensor with 4 flux return paths, that is flux A, flux B, flux C and flux D, depending on the magnetic flux detected by this particular sensor or the package. And these are the terminals from this particular sensor, that is Hall effect sensor, that is 4 Hall effect sensor, 1, 2, 3 and 4 Hall effect sensor, that is H1, H2, H3 and H4, and depending